morning, all. My name is Adekemi Kiladejo. I am a medical doctor by profession, precisely a public health physician, and by calling and by passion, I'm an adolescent and women's health and development advocate. I thought it was very important to make this video because I once read in a quote that stated, "The day we stop to talk about the things that matter is the day we start to die or stop to live utmostly." And so I thought it was very important for us to speak about the rising scandal of violence against girls and women and intimate partner violence. In summary, violence. It's saddening, it's heartbreaking that the perpetrators of violence are being treated with light hands, and they give all kinds of excuses for their actions. Suffice to say that the culture of silence is not helping matters at all. When a girl is being raped or violently attacked, the next we hear is, "Don't tell anybody about it," so that the family's name will not be dragged into mud. However, this same perpetrator goes about and keeps violating the rights of many other girls. And this is sad enough. Many lives have been lost. What are the forms of violence that we're talking about? We have psychological violence, we have emotional violence, we have economic violence against girls and women. We also have physical violence, and we also have sexual violence. And, some people think it's only if you violate the rights of a girl or a woman physically that you have committed some form of assault or done the wrong thing. But usually it starts with psychological violence, where you use wrong words to address people, where you treat people with utmost disrespect, where you treat the female gender with disrespect. Some people even go ahead to restrict their movements. I once spoke to a man some time ago, and he said when his wife offends him, he locks her up in a room. Wow. And he said it in the presence of his wife. And the wife says her husband is such a sweet man, so who am I to complain about what is happening? But that's sad enough. Why would you lock somebody up in a room? Because you don't like what she did. I mean, there are civil ways to handle every matter. What of some form of abuse, where you always speak the wrong words to people and make them lose their self-confidence? Is that the way to pass a message? Absolutely not. Before I continue, I just want us to know that it's not only girls and women that have their rights being violated or who experience violence. Boys and men also do. But however, statistics globally have shown that 1 out of every 3 women experience some form of violence from the other gender in their lifetime. It could be psychological, like I said, which can also pass for mental violence or emotional violence. It could be economical. Economic violence is depriving people from having access to education and means of livelihood. Let me tell you, if you send a girl child to the streets to hawk when she's supposed to be in school, it's some form of economic violence against that child. Violence is by no means justifiable, I beg your pardon. Is by no means justifiable. There is no reason for violence. And the next forms of violence, we have physical violence, where you beat up someone because the person does not do what you want him or her to do. That's some form of physical violence, where physical violence involves bringing to pass a physical harm, some form of harm, and it could even lead to injury or death. And then sexual violence, and that's the one that is raging so much in this time of the pandemic. I have tried to listen to a lot of people and experts on this subject matter. And the overall view is there is no justifiable reason for violence. In order not to bore you too much, I just want to focus more on how do we treat victims of violence. Are you one of the people that stigmatizes them? Are you one of the people that gives excuses for the perpetrators? Are you one of the people that encourage victims of violence to keep quiet and not speak out until they are killed? I once saw a man, a very highly placed man in our society, and while having a discourse with him, I was talking about a lady whose right was violated through physical abuse. And he said, I'll call the guy to apologize. Let the matter die down. I don't want anybody to know about this. And immediately I put a question across to him. If it were your daughter whose right was violated, who was sexually abused, or who was physically abused, what will you do? Would you keep quiet? And the man was quick to say, I will kill the man that does that. He had said it before realizing that the judgment he will give for his own child was different for the one he was meting for the perpetrator. And so I just want to let us know that the people whose rights are being violated haven't done anything wrong to have their rights being violated. They should be treated with utmost respect. They shouldn't be discriminated. They shouldn't be stigmatized. They shouldn't be looked down on. They shouldn't be isolated. And they should be allowed to speak up so that this menace can be brought to zero level. Looking forward to speaking again to you about issues bordering about girls and women's rights. Once again, I wish you a wonderful time. Remember to stay safe and maintain the highest level of sanitary precautions. Wash your hands and keep some form of respiratory hygiene. Social distancing is still very relevant as we pray to God to help us curb this menace of COVID-19. Stay tuned and God bless you.